What if the most dangerous document inside Buckingham Palace wasn't a royal decree, wasn't a letters patent, and wasn't even a will? What if it was a divorce clause buried deep inside a private legal agreement, one that allegedly gave Camilla powers so extraordinary, so constitutionally explosive, that even Prince Harry reportedly had no idea he had signed away his own future? Tonight, we go inside the walls of the palace. We follow the paper trail, and we reveal what sources are now calling the darkest legal maneuver in modern royal history. This is not rumor. This is not gossip. According to multiple investigative sources, this is allegedly a calculated, premeditated clause drafted in silence, buried in legal language, and designed to detonate only when the time was right. And that time may have finally arrived. Because Prince William, the future King of England, has allegedly seen the full document, and according to sources close to the palace, what he discovered didn't just shock him, it allegedly changed everything. And just a reminder, if you want to know the full truth behind what is allegedly the most explosive royal secret of this decade, you need to stay until the very end, because the final revelation will leave you absolutely speechless. Let's begin. To understand why Prince William is allegedly furious, and why Harry is reportedly panicking behind closed doors, you have to go back to the very beginning. Back to when this clause was allegedly first drafted. Back to when nobody was watching. According to investigative sources, the story begins long before the cameras, the crowns, and the public celebrations. It begins in a quiet legal office somewhere in London, where a document was allegedly being prepared, not for the public, not for Parliament, but for the palace itself. Sources claim this was no ordinary agreement. This was allegedly a divorce clause, a specific legal provision buried deep inside a private royal contract. One that, according to legal analysts familiar with royal constitutional law, would have given Camilla an extraordinary level of financial and positional protection in the event of any future separation from King Charles. And here is where it gets truly shocking. Because according to sources, this clause allegedly contained language so broad, so carefully constructed, that it didn't just protect Camilla. It allegedly extended certain provisions, certain legally binding obligations, to members of the wider royal circle. Members who, sources claim, were never fully informed of what they were agreeing to. Members like Prince Harry. Let that sink in for a moment. Harry, who has spent years fighting the palace, exposing its secrets and positioning himself as the rebel who walked away, allegedly signed a document he never fully read. A document that, according to sources, contained provisions that could still legally bind him today, even from California, even after everything. According to royal legal experts, this type of clause, what some are calling a form of fraudulent inducement, occurs when a signing party is allegedly misled about the full contents or consequences of a legal agreement. And if proven, the implications would be constitutionally catastrophic for the palace. But it doesn't stop there. Because sources now allege that Camilla's legal team didn't just draft this clause quietly. They allegedly ensured it was embedded within a broader document, one that carried multiple signatures, multiple royal seals, and the kind of institutional weight that makes it almost impossible to challenge publicly without triggering a full constitutional crisis. This is allegedly why Prince William has been furious, not just because of what the clause contains, but because of what it allegedly reveals about the way power has been quietly and deliberately redistributed inside Buckingham Palace without the knowledge of those most affected. And according to sources close to William's inner circle, the moment he allegedly saw the full document, the moment he understood what had been signed, what had been hidden, and what it meant for the future of the crown, he reportedly made a decision. A decision that, sources claim, is already sending shockwaves through the highest levels of the British monarchy. But what exactly did William decide? And how does it connect to Harry's alleged panic? That answer is coming, and it is more explosive than anything you have heard so far. To understand the full weight of what William allegedly discovered, you have to understand one thing about royal legal documents. They are not like ordinary contracts. They are not governed by the same rules that protect everyday citizens. They operate in a shadow legal world, one where constitutional law, letters patent, and royal prerogative intersect in ways that even senior legal experts struggle to fully untangle. And according to sources, that is precisely what made this clause so dangerous. Because allegedly, the language buried inside this document didn't just create financial obligations. It allegedly created a legal architecture, a carefully constructed framework that would make it almost impossible for any senior royal to publicly challenge Camilla's position without simultaneously exposing themselves to serious legal and constitutional consequences. In other words, according to sources, whoever signed this document didn't just agree to terms. They allegedly handed over a form of legal leverage, quietly, permanently, and without fully realizing it. This is allegedly why Harry is panicking, not because of what William exposed, but because of what Harry himself may have unknowingly surrendered. And the question that is now allegedly circulating at the highest levels of the palace is devastatingly simple. Can it be undone? According to sources close to the investigation, the answer to that question is not simple, and it is not clean, and it is certainly not comfortable for anyone sitting inside Buckingham Palace right now. Because here is what sources are now alleging. Prince William did not just discover this clause by accident. According to insiders, William allegedly received a private briefing, a carefully prepared dossier, compiled by a small team of royal legal advisors who had spent months quietly reviewing historical palace documents, financial agreements, and private correspondence. And what they allegedly found inside that dossier was nothing short of extraordinary. According to sources, the dossier contained not just the divorce clause itself, but an entire timeline, a documented sequence of events allegedly showing how this clause was introduced, how it was embedded within a broader agreement, and critically, how signatures were allegedly obtained without full disclosure of the clause's true legal implications. Legal experts familiar with royal constitutional law have allegedly described this as one of the most sophisticated examples of constructive concealment ever allegedly attempted within the modern British monarchy, a term that, in legal circles, refers to the deliberate hiding of material information within a complex document in order to obtain consent that would otherwise never have been freely given. And according to sources, the timeline inside that dossier points to one conclusion. This was allegedly not an oversight. This was allegedly not a clerical error. This was allegedly a deliberate and calculated strategy, executed at the highest levels, to quietly secure Camilla's long-term position within the royal family in a way that would be almost legally impossible to reverse. William allegedly read every page, every line, every footnote. And when he finished, sources claim he sat in silence for a long time. And that silence, according to sources, did not last long. Because what Prince William allegedly did next is what has sent the most powerful shockwaves through the corridors of Buckingham Palace. According to insiders, William did not go to the press. He did not leak the document. He did not make a public statement. Instead, sources claim he did something far more calculated, far more strategic, and far more devastating for Camilla and those allegedly closest to her. He allegedly called a private meeting, a meeting so restricted, according to sources, that only a handful of the most senior royal advisors were permitted inside the room. No cameras, no official record, no minutes taken. And inside that room, according to sources, William allegedly laid the dossier on the table, every page, every timeline, every signature, and he allegedly made his position absolutely clear. According to insiders, William reportedly stated that the clause as it stands is not just legally questionable. It is allegedly a direct threat to the integrity of the crown itself, and that under his future reign, this would not stand. The reaction inside that room, sources claim, was immediate, and it was severe. Because the moment William allegedly made his position known, the moment those advisors understood that the future king had seen everything and was prepared to act, the news allegedly reached Camilla's circle within hours. And that, according to sources, is the moment Harry found out. Not from William, not from the palace, but allegedly through the same quiet network of royal insiders that has always carried the most dangerous information across the Atlantic. And sources claim that when Harry understood the full implications, what had been signed, what had been hidden, and what William was now allegedly prepared to do, the panic was immediate. Because for Harry, this was no longer just a family scandal. This was allegedly a legal emergency. And a legal emergency, according to sources, requires an immediate response. Because here is what sources are now claiming. Harry, sitting thousands of miles away in California, allegedly began making calls, quiet calls, urgent calls, to legal teams, to advisors, to people who allegedly understood the full weight of what a royal constitutional clause could mean for someone who had already walked away from the family, already renounced his working royal duties, and already burned bridges that most people assumed could never be rebuilt. According to sources close to Harry's inner circle, the first question he allegedly asked was devastatingly simple: can my signature be challenged? And the answer he allegedly received was not the one he was hoping for. Because according to royal legal experts familiar with this specific type of constitutional agreement, challenging a signature on a document of this nature is not just complicated. It is allegedly one of the most legally treacherous paths any member of the royal family could ever attempt to walk. The reason, sources explain, is that documents of this kind are allegedly designed with multiple layers of legal protection, each one specifically constructed to make individual challenges almost impossible without triggering consequences that extend far beyond the person making the challenge. In other words, according to sources, the moment Harry attempts to legally distance himself from what he allegedly signed, he risks exposing not just Camilla, he risks exposing himself, his own agreements, his own signatures, his own alleged role in a legal architecture that, sources claim, runs far deeper than even he currently understands. And that, according to insiders, is precisely why Camilla's legal team is allegedly not panicking, because they allegedly knew this moment would come, and sources claim they prepared for it, meticulously, quietly, and years in advance. Which leaves Prince William standing at the center of a constitutional storm that, according to sources, has no clean exit, no simple resolution, and no outcome that does not carry consequences for every single person whose name appears on that document. The palace has not commented, William's team has not confirmed, and Harry, according to sources, has gone very quiet. But sources close to the investigation claim that this silence, on all sides, is not the silence of people who have nothing to say. It is allegedly the silence of people who are choosing their next move very, very carefully. Because when a future king allegedly decides to expose the darkest clause in modern royal history, and when the consequences of that exposure allegedly reach from Buckingham Palace all the way to California, the story does not end quietly. It ends with a reckoning. And according to sources, that reckoning is already on its way.